In your 6 years, so far 6+ years at Officeworks, you've worked with one CEO. So how would you describe your relationship there and how that's evolved over that time?
Yeah, well, there was a group of 5 of us that actually came out of Bunnings once the Wesfarmers acquisition went through and moved across to Officeworks. There was some similarities if you think about big box retailing, category killer type offers. Obviously we weren't selling the same product that a Bunnings sells, but a lot of the principles were similar, so it made sense to take some of that knowledge and move it into the new business. But I didn't know the CEO all that well at that point during my time at Bunnings, so very much in the early days it's about sort of feeling each other out in terms of how the two of us worked. But as we've moved forward, I'd say that the one thing that we have got is around trust. And we certainly have some robust discussions about the way we want to take the business forward, but there's never any doubt that 1, we've got the best interests of the business at heart, and 2, that we trust each other, and I guess 3, that Richard Goyder often talks about this from a Wesfarmers perspective about bad news travelling as fast as good news, which sounds like a sort of a relatively trite philosophy to have in place, but when you actually put it in practice, it's a pretty hard philosophy to live by, because no one likes to talk about bad news, and where there's an opportunity to try and work it out yourself before it gets to a level where it becomes much more transparent. I think that's people's natural inclination to want to do that. Good news, of course, is great to share with everyone. Bad news, not so much. But I think that's the real test of a CFO's of courage, if you like, is that when there is some bad news, that it makes its way to the surface pretty quickly, because then you can actually do something about it.
What are some of the ways that you encourage bad news to surface faster?
Well, I think it's how you deal with the consequences and how you deal with the people to resolve the issue. No one likes delivering bad news, and no one likes actually making mistakes in business. I'm a big believer, and everyone turns up to do a really good job at work. No one deliberately goes out of their way, in most circumstances, to do a poor job. So I think, as the leader within a business, it's important to approach those sort of things in a calm way, but to work about the way that you resolve them. And I think it also comes from the example that you set for perhaps others in the business, where you've been prepared to deliver bad news and be held accountable for that. Then I think that has a big impact on how others in the business work when they have bad news to deliver as well. Thankfully, we haven't had too much bad news to deliver, but I guess it's all relative.